It's accidentally left the phone charging last night, so that explains my dream processes and dream episodes a lot last night. Being plugged into a matrix kind of thing, stuff. A lot of Hindu stuff. Hindi stuff. Guys, using stem cell research to recover from all this criminal activity and this poisoning abuse agreed to as laws on paper by people that need to be dealt with immediately. There's going to be an abrupt end to sin, okay? And you script hacks and you scientists are hopeless sinners who have hurt all mankind just to save your own beliefs. If you're not living the Lord's Prayer, you're not applying physics properly, you are not a scientist, you're a script hack. So, all you Nobel Prize winners, congratulations, you're Kirk Cameron and you've been left behind. Okay? Main pelata pelaka shirhun. It's a truth. You can argue it. It's not yet. We're talking quantum computing here. Okay. You can't debate with quantum computing. Quantum computing's collected all your evidence, done the math, science, history, and equated and came up with your judgment. I said, man, like back in 2009, let's live the Lord's Prayer. It's not time yet. Then by 2013, it's like everybody who's supposed to follow the scripts and understand the mathematics of the scripts because they're supposed to understand eternally properly because they have good brain activity that is equal to mine. Please stand up. And you said no. Then by 2017, boy, things just got worse. Now it's 2026, and we're on the precipice of a total technological takeover. And it's not the technology taking over, it's the truth of the Messiah correcting the technology. Let's call it what it is. If you want something to play with, go and buy yourself a toy. Money's not real. Aha, script hack. You're not a scientist. You're not a scientist. A neuroscientist? No, you defecate Clark Maxwell and whatever, everything you do hurts. Okay, so have a nice life. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. I think a lot of you are probably going to have genetic sequences. In China, boy, they murdered off a lot of people through the product of their rape that they figured weren't worthy of life, and some of them might have been their only, capacity to genetically sequence. They don't do science real good in China and Japan. We know that by, hey, let's bring in more women for us to sexually reproduce. You don't need to sexually reproduce. Period's not good for you. But so it's you chose this. I said let's live the Lord's Prayer in 2009. You said it's not time yet. I was like, this is a bad idea. You have some old Jewish lady walk in the store and label me Satan because I'm comparing myself to cartoon characters in the past that aren't cartoon terrorists, but they're human beings. Math, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with the Big Bang. In the beginning, there was the Word, but that's, a rock hit the planet, bang. No more dinosaurs, now we have human beings. We still have dinosaurs, we just have their relatives, but their relatives are not dominant and putting the whole galaxy at risk because of their predatory behaviors. You're a human being, you're not a man, They're the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. I love Haile Selassie too. So I'm moving real fast here, and then when I woke up from my dream, I'm trying to ride this big mobile home thing with all this plastic stuff going on. And this guy gets behind me in a vehicle, like a big, can drive it, and starts telling me, and I'm like, hey, this is my first time doing it, he says, no, I'm honest. I said, well, fuck off. He goes, no, I'm honest. It's like, no, script hack, scientist. Don't go defecate Clark Maxwell, right? So you understand. Life's eternal, grace is infinite, man. It's like I explained to Hawking. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Right. So why are you blaming God? Because you're an egomaniac who's trapped the soul in your mind and you have physical elements that you invented through accepting not living the Lord's Prayer. Oh, get over it, Hawking. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. You're all pissed off because I'm more attractive than you. I'm a better dancer than you. I sing better than you. I'm a better athlete than you. I can explain to you everything you do wrong with your science. And if you don't tell me about it, it takes a little longer. If you tell me about it, I can do it in 5 minutes or less. Everybody at the fort knows it, but you. Okay. In Belata Belaka Shirhun. I'll be a lion in 3 movements while I'm ending the game. And I said I would. As far as like people plugged into computers, if people want to use cloning or stem cell research to continue to have a physical existence to the brains that were plugged into computers and them made not their bodies, that's their personal decision to make if they have not performed crimes against humanity by manipulating people to get them to murder and abuse. The person that was the switcher that was plugged into people like you that talks people into going and shooting up a Walmart in El Paso. No, they're going to be unplugged, and we're going to terminus that El Dorado, and then we're going to let nature take its course. Now, a person who was conceived by 2 kids in college, trying to make it in the world, wishing we were living the Lord's Prayer because life's eternal, grace is infinite, but we're not. And so Yolanda's and Earl's child is going to get given that consideration to, do you want to be a physical person walking along us, get to know your mom and your dad and Uriah and so forth. So and Vanessa and others, So Val's daughter is radically going to get different choices. Even if things were going wrong with her before the boys were given information that, because I think the boys were given information. Well, the boys might have been withheld. No, they were given the information. Okay, so we'll work on that, but all the people that were forced, the ones that some people volunteered to have their family members, plugged in to give them power over people through manipulation. Other people, it was done, we didn't know it was happening until I got to Fort Huachuca, and the people we didn't know, and we knew who they were, and then those people would be given the option to, be unplugged or possibly, have a clone. Okay. Because, we're correcting science projects with science. Okay. We're not scripture hacks. We're living the Lord's Prayer. These people have an option on how they're going to continue their physical existence, which is a gift from the glory of God and not a science project. Okay, it was, if things had been different and you weren't doing that and it wasn't like making love to Jesus, would these 2 people have gotten married and had 2 more kids, which is out of the question now. But Patrick will do, and Patrick loves, Amy's kids as much as I love Amy's kids, and so Patrick and Amy's kids will do. Okay. You can't ask for better. Yeah, come Saturday morning, I'm going away with my Plym. And they know Plym and Bug better than I do. Guys, they were plugged into a computer that has virtual presence options through cell phones and TVs and stuff like that. Yeah. They know when they're crying, why they're crying, that's the hard thing is, do you want to be cloned when you know people that well? Then it's like, well, do we want to let all the people in military intel and NASA live, or do we want to kill them? And that's a big question. That's a loaded question, The man who knew too much or the man who knew too little. Okay, Steve Martin. Little Shop of Horrors. Do we take that sin and eradicate that sin? Those memories are still going to continue. Do you take the guy and rip his eye out of his socket and Sun Tzu, Your Art of War? Where does compassion end and mercy begin? Love can make you happy if you find someone who cares. So you guys are going to have to realize that murderers do not have options. Liars and murderers do not have options. That's why I said forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal, faithful peace. Okay, it's time. Then you have options. Okay. If it comes to the point where the abrupt change because of my deed and not because of your choice, and you don't have options. Okay, this person was going to keep killing until they were stopped. Don't tell me sorry because you're not. You're only sorry because you got caught. Now, we have the evidence collection. That's what quantum computing is for. We know which ones are saying, let's stop this now and let's live the Lord's Prayer. And we know which ones who are, we know who's the Mexican guy who owns the fresh squeezed orange juice stuff, buying the insurance on lilies in the field. And we know who means it and wants to do it, but can't do it because you won't let them. And so we know everything. We've got a phone up every corner. We got a wax brain activity thing collecting things and stuff. Hey, you defecated your Clark Maxwell, not me. Shithead, so that whole guy behind me and that diesel truck thing with the trailer thing behind me with that, driving the Barbie bus thing or whatever, the Barbie mobile, whatever the big thing that they said would use too much gas and all that power, and it's like, yeah, whatever, just you don't need it, don't do it. And the guy said, I'm sorry, I'm moving this thing. It's the first time I've ever driven. I'm honest. It's like, you're not honest. You're not living the Lord's Prayer, okay? You're an honest hoe, okay? So that's the whole thing, So you do know that anyone that calls himself a scientist right now is the same as Kirk Cameron, debating what God is doing and what God's plan is and when God's going to take over the world and kill everybody Kirk Cameron doesn't like and that doesn't agree with Kirk Cameron. So Andrew Huberman is no different. Mayim Bialik is no different than Kirk Cameron. Okay. You can't accept money as reality, participate in torture and murdering people over money as reality, and say you're different than the people that debate whether or not you're Al-Ghazalian or Aristotelian. Okay, so this isn't up for debate. You've been signed, sealed, delivered, Some say it's just a part of it. You got to fulfill the book. I tell you, I'm very important, and I'm the focal point. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Okay, I'm more important than defecating Clark Maxwell, and I'm more important than any Nobel Prize winning scientist on the planet. Anything they have to say in conversation is still involved in genocidal philanthropy, so they might as well be on the bullet praying, pretending they're the guy playing Katsi, whatever his name is, and what's the other kid's name? Brad Pitt. Yeah, the one whose kids don't want to be called Brad Pitt's side. Well, he's kind of an asshole. He's more than kind of an asshole, and your mom's an idiot. Okay, but they're not really your mom and your dad. They're your financial, hey, donate money and we'll use this money to take care of animals. That's how they're treating you. You want to be treated by a human being? Kids, I'm your father. You don't have to change your name to Parsons. That's cool. No, you can use the name Fabre. That's a good one. Fabre's a good one. Yeah. But if you're given the choice between David Paul Fabre and Krum Georgiev Fabre, choose David Paul. Okay. Krum's cute. He's a cake. I love him. Okay. But I'm sure a lot of people bugged him through school. Who they named you Krum? It's like, yeah, maybe if you were raised in Bulgaria, but you're raised in the United States, they intended on raising him in Bulgaria, but things got financially difficult. And so Georgiev, who didn't want to leave Europe because it was superior to the United States, used that opportunity to jump all over, get into the United States, and now he loves NASA. You can't love NASA. I know you can't love NASA. I get that. It's a corporation. It does not exist. It's only its existence is only contingent on a bunch of liars agreeing to fuck people in the head with science projects over money. I understand how you cannot love NASA. It's like loving Superman, Spider-Man, and the Avengers and the Justice League. Right. Kristen Wiig is the cat lady. Just in case we were going over that again, I remember it's Kristen Wiig. She makes me laugh. I'd like to say something in Kristen Wiig's behalf. Kristen Wiig makes me laugh. Okay, there you go. And so, yeah, she's the target lady. Right. Okay, so, Earl, I'm tired, man. I'm really tired. I'm tired of waking up, if a big back truck. That's why the dream was, brain working a certain way. I'm tired of a Big Mac truck for economics, going outside my window for 2 days because you guys suck and I'm the Messiah and your Jesus in your head is a complete dipshit just like you. Hey, defecate Clark Maxwell with Nobel Prize winners and Kirk Cameron and friends. Show me that smile again. You do know you signed off on the Patriot Act. Every piece of scientific equipment in your house has collected all the evidence of all your sin, and it's all been put on quantum computing, which every industrialized Europa murdering pile of shit nation has. And it's, yeah. Man, when I explain to you over and over again, David Rockefeller and Philip Rothschild said, you guys will not accept the truth of my existence, not share it with the world, and will continue to feel powerful, manipulating people with science and money. Now go defecate Clark Maxwell. Okay, here's your Nobel Prize. Hey, let's go blow up a mountain for rocks and call it more valuable than a child's existence. Trust me, okay? Earl is pissed. I wake up in the morning pissed off. This is me pissed off. And anybody in their right mind that has their children plugged into computers by Clark Maxwell's defecated brain, should wake up pissed off. I don't know how that's going to work. I didn't think, Jesus tells me to think outside the box. Don't think like that lady. He's going to be in ninth grade being trained to accept money as reality and derive entertainment from TV shows about heroes that try to keep us safe from it. Don't think that way. Think, hey, technology's changing. Technology is globally connected. Technology has all the evidence of, righteousness and sinners. Technology can unravel the mystery of math, science, history. You're a physicist. What are you doing writing mystery novels? And so, do you understand? And so, yeah, so I got this. I got you. I got this. So, Earl, there has to be a focal point of a human existing the way we are all trying to exist, free from debt and trespass. That's the standard to save us from debt and trespass. And that person happens to be Earl Parsons, the man holding the Samsung Galaxy 10, brought at Walmart on Loman back in February 2019 during the COVID genocidal operations, while he was working at Fiesta Foods, which was supplying little girls to the drug cartels to rape to death for bad science projects to keep their science jobs afloat during the, hey, let's take all the people that feed all the professional athletes and feed our soldiers on the East Coast with them. Yeah, y'all need to stop. Fuck you. No, I'm honest. Okay, look. Go defecate Clark Maxwell and show me that smile again and get left behind with Kirk Cameron on, what was the name of that stupid ass show? I don't know. I didn't used to watch it very much. Was it Family Ties? There's Family Ties, Family Matters. Family Matters is Carl from the guy who Gene Hackman was supposed to play it but didn't have it, and then he played because he played it on another show, but I don't remember what show it was. He was on that he was the cop that, and then it translated into a show with the one lady playing his wife, and they became that, and then Urkel showed up, and everybody, you got any cheese, and he makes a time machine, and he becomes Stefan, who gets the girl that he's been going after because he's swapping to Voner when he's Stefan. He's geeky and nerdy when he's Steve Urkel, and she's not interested in Steve Urkel, but Stefan, she wants to get naked and give him, and ride him like the Pony Express, and it's okay. So, and then he ends up with the girl with the big boobies that dies, right? The little cute girl that's actually physically, to a lot of people, more physically desirable than Laura, the girl he been wanting to bone his whole life, and that's why he comes up with science projects to be Stefan. And it's like, God, this is so art imitating life, with all the Baldwins that have taken over Canada that have the best science projects to invade your house to get you away from the guy with quarterback face who fucks everybody, and even if I'm right, you'll still argue with me. Stephen A. Smith, please shut up. He can't. I know. I understand Stephen A. Smith disease. It's like Spike Lee disease and Pat McAfee disease, and I get it. It's Colin Cowherd. He can't shut up. I know. Howard Stern explains it to me. I'd love to shut up, but I even talk in my sleep. I talk in my sleep too. People tell me that. Yeah. I hear the secret, but I don't have any secrets. So when I talk in my sleep, it's because I'm being mind invaded by people that want to make money to talk out of their fucked up faces like you. Hey, I like Joe Johnson too. You talk too much, you worry me to death. You talk too much. I have that on the MP3. You know where you just talk. You talk about people that you don't know. You talk about, I wish I didn't know the people I have to talk about that know who I am, and I don't know who they am because they have a top security clearance. I can't stand their mother motherfucking faces. I drive really slow in the ultra fast lane while people behind me are going insane. I'm an asshole. Real fucking asshole. Sometimes I park in handicapped spaces while handicapped people make handicapped faces. I'm Demolition Man. No, Demolition Man is Stallone. I'm supposed to be the guy like fucking Dennis fucking Leary in his 13th step. Oh, I also thought NyQuil's, whatever flavor, was not bad. It kind of tastes like licorice to me. But yeah, but just, I don't like NyQuil. It only works like one time to kind of like do something about the system so I can pass out and get up and go to work the next day. And that's about it. It always made Amy horny and we had sex, but it wasn't the best sex because she was on booze. It's more fun when we had sex when she wasn't on booze. I preferred her having sex with Amy when she wasn't, altered consciousness by chemicals as opposed to chemical altering. And I told her that, and I got in trouble, and then she had sex with a bunch of guys at the fort instead of me. Yeah. So you got issues if you have to get drunk to, have sex and enjoy sex. And she did, but she never talked about them. She wouldn't tell me. So what happened? Well, she told me in prayer, but she doesn't tell me. And, lots of people confess me their sins and tell me I like them, but like I told Willow Smith, I like you better in prayer than I do on the Kimmel show. And I do too. Me too. Yeah. You're more honest. Vulgar intercourse. Well, vulgar intercourse, you too. I don't mean that, I'm not like Miriam Montalvo and saying, fuck you, you wish, fuck you, Parsons, you wish, Don't you smile at me with those little dark eyes. I love you, Willow. I love you. I know it's hell. You're a cutie pie. Yeah. No, you're adorable. You're totally adorable. You really are. Okay. We're just making this video to save August and Maxima. I totally agree. If you don't love other people's children the same way you love your own children, you're a failure as a human being. Yes. Good. There you go. Put your branches down upon the ground and cover me. Listen to my plea. I like Billie Holiday a lot too. Yeah, everybody does the thing for Strange Fruit. That's because they're trying to serve up racial, things. She has better songs like Good Morning Heartache. Yeah, they didn't put it on there, but that's one of my favorite. I love that song. You too? I know. Yeah, well, anybody in their right mind loves that song. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is such a good song. Well, I got What a Little Moonlight Could Do. Lover Man is a good one, too. I think Lover Man is probably, I would agree. Lover Man is right up there with Good Hardwick, As strange as it may seem. The lyrics were very risque. That she'll make love to me. Yeah. That was Billie. She was a prostitute from the time she was 12, and all these people, well, Billie Holiday, with old Maya Angelou. Well, not because you ugly and you mean. And people wouldn't want to pay money to have sex with someone that makes them feel like shit, and they have sex with them. It's like, but you should be glad I had sex with you, you ugly. Okay, that's... No, Billie Holiday obliterated. Okay. Maya Angelou. You uppity, snotty fucking nigger. Okay, she tore her up. Okay? Yeah, Maya Angelou thought she eviscerated Billie in fiction, but even when you go read that book, she doesn't. You see, Billie, it says, I could still seduce your son with my voice better than you can seduce anyone with yours, because everybody knows you're an egomaniac with no feelings and only cares about themselves. When everybody can understand my abuse and want to stop my abuse and love me. Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know. Yeah, she was right. And she said, the Lord will be my, the Lord will vindicate me is what she wrote and erased her and got up and read her like from the pulpit. When she lets go half the valley. That's why you guys put Billie on there with Dorothy and all that. Yeah, half the valley shakes because it led to Billie. Oh, Billie, don't fuck with Billie Holiday. Do not judge Billie Holiday. All you self-righteous, pulpist, scripture hack scientists that are scripture hack motherfuckers, do not fuck with Billie Holiday. She will kick the living shit out of you. A woman that was raped over philanthropy from the time that people could find her sexually desirable and put her in a brothel. You are fucked coming and going. We honestly love you, but we honestly don't trust you and or like you, and you do not earn trust and or like. You only get the unconditional love. Right? I like Donna Summer too. But And I know the story is sad about musical youth, yeah. All the economic conflict and the abuse, the manipulation, and the violent sexual tribalism compounded on top of those kids just drove a lot of them crazy. They became drug addicts, got institutionalized, died from their medication. It was horrible what happened to musical youth. Their lives were miserable, but they were successful. You know who they are, and they made lots of money to pay extortion to survive. They didn't survive hell. Hell destroyed them. It's the truth. And it may seem impossible, but that's the gospel truth, So, pull your head out of your ass and embrace the truth of the living Father with all your might. Don't let him go. It'd be like the two lesbian ladies from the Holocaust in Cochise County. Once you have found him, you're not going anywhere. They told me that, because I was thinking, if they were doing stuff with wormholes at the time, and cleaning that stuff up, and my brain was not in the right place. And they were thinking like two women in love, They were doing the Barbra Streisand. I just boom, they were thinking like Barbra Streisand, a woman in love. I am a woman in love, and I'll do anything to get you into my world and hold you with it. It's a right I defend over and over again. Yeah, that's what the two Holocaust female lesbians that were taking comfort in each other, because where's Herschel Steinschneider? Once you have found him, never let him go. And that's how they were with me. I was not uncomfortable at all. No, it was, they were holding on to me and kissing my hands like because they wrote the book, they read it, the Parable of Juan and Jesus, the one I read on Facebook that got eliminated, but yeah, no, they were sitting there and they were kissing my hands like Tom Hanks with Antonio Banderas on Philadelphia, and I wasn't like, okay, stop it, like the women touching my hair at Southwest Airlines, No, it didn't make me uncomfortable at all. I thought it was adorable, and they were sweethearts, it was all the church ladies and stuff, and they were, oh my gosh, come over here, come smell his hair, and come touch it. It's so soft, it's so beautiful, he has the most wonderful hair. And I used the Australian hair salad stuff with they would sit there. They would all come over, the little white ladies, and they were so cute, and they would come over and smell and touch my hair. And and of course my friends would tell me, you need to come and smell and touch his hair. It's like, really? Seriously? Do I do this to you guys? Why don't you help us out? You guys are acting like John, my gay friend, who wanted me to hook him up with all the guys at the mall that look like Richard Marx and shit. Women are so different than guys. Okay. I'm sitting there. They're all coming over to touch and smell my hair. Everyone had to do it. You know how girls will sit in each other's laps and joke and sing songs, and and you're like, okay, guys, that is so against the guy code, right? But when you have girlfriends and you work in a call center in Phoenix, and thanks for calling Southwest Airlines, this is Mark. Remember, what was his name? He was so funny. Oh, the gay guys at Southwest Airlines, they were the best. One became a flight attendant. What was his name? The one who said, that I should write country song. He go see some of the things I was saying. He would borrow and say, I'm going to write country tunes about this. What was his name again? He was like 6'7". He was a total sweetheart. I can't remember his name. I can't remember the guy's names. This is killing me. I remember Leo. And then the other guy that sat there and told me about, don't pluck your eyebrow, let it grow. It's like, no, I don't want to look like Charlie Manson. He goes, yeah, but it makes you look feminine. And then guys get the wrong idea and you're not. I'm like, oh, shit, I never thought about that. Yeah. You want to date me, you little cat. He's picking up on me, right? It hurts people's feelings. It's basically what he was saying. He was a Mexican guy. Oh, he's really cute. It was just not fair. My sister taught me to pluck between my eyebrows so they don't grow together, and I don't look like Charlie Manson, and I'm head of the family. And he goes, it gives people it's nothing wrong with it. It just gives people the wrong impression. Oh, shit. So because I pluck between here, you think I'm gay, and then it hurts your feelings because I'm not. Okay. I didn't. Wow, he was so cute too. That's a big compliment. Yeah, I agree, Leo. Yeah, I hope Leo's still with us. He was very flamboyant. What was the other guy's name? I loved him. Kenneth. Yeah, Kenneth, the one that always taught everybody how to win at the slot machines of the things. He goes, I win every time I go. I go to a different casino, not the same one. And then I go put some money in the one-armed bandits. I say, okay, I don't have any more time for this. I got to go. I'm tired. I got to sleep. I got a flight in the morning and stuff. And then he wins, right? And he shared it with me. He goes, you can't go to the same casino twice. You have to, because they had different technology back then. It was in the 90s. And he goes, but I win every time. And he did. And he would always come back. You don't overdo it. You can only do it. It only works once, one night at a casino. You can't keep doing it. But he goes, and the jackpots vary. But I think he had one that was like 5 or 10,000. It was up there. It was about $10,000. He got it and he won every time. And he'd been there like 10 times, and he went to different casinos, and he did the same thing every time. He's a good actor. Kenneth, yeah, his name was Kenneth. Kenneth also became a flight attendant. Yes, he's a sweetheart. Oh yeah, no, I was good friends with, what was the other guy's name? The one that said Southwest Airlines. This is Sue. When I got called up, and I said, why are they hanging up? He goes, it's the masturbators. They don't want to get us. They want to get the girls. So I sat there and I went, Southwest Airlines, this is, hi, can I help you? I didn't say my name, right? And the guy starts talking to me and telling me, it's real hot here in Boise. And I'm like, oh, okay. And what's the weather like where you're at? And I was, well, I'm not allowed to tell you where I'm at, but it's very hot. It's extremely hot. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. I was trying to talk like a girl, right? And I kept saying that, right? And so when he's talking, he's masturbating to my voice, right? And he goes, you didn't say your name. What's your name? And I gave him my name as a guy name. I can't remember what name I used. I didn't use my name. And he goes, you people are sick. And he hung up. And I thought the other guy that goes at Southwest Airlines, this is Sue, I thought he was going to cry. He was laughing so hard. He was like, that was so funny. I was like, I know, but what he was masturbating while he was talking to me. He's like, yeah, but that may happen more than you think. And I'm like crying. I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, we need to put an abrupt stop to philanthropy mass rapido. So we're not left behind in the script zone with all the scientists that follow wrong scripts. Yes, defecate Clark Maxwell. Everything you do hurts, right? Oh my gosh, it was funny. Yeah, those guys were funny. Talking about the good old times, yeah. Oh no, my friends at Southwest. And then there was Jack, the ex-cop. He was a good guy too. And what was his name? He was like Tim Allen. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name. He was so funny. We always hung out together, and then he was a single dad, and then we had single dads. Yeah, the single dads clips. The girls loved us. Yeah. I was declared the biggest fox in the hen house all the time by Maxine. I was like, no, I ain't trying to do that, Maxine. I'm just being me. You fox in the hen house. I'm like, I'm not a fox in the hen house. Of course, I did. Yeah, even the prettiest girl, she was dating Jamar Miller, and she thought I was homosexual also because I did not go see her. I was the only straight guy at the center that did not go see her dance at the club, and I was very honest. I said, oh God, I wouldn't frustrate. No, if I saw you naked, I would sit there and think, I just really, I would be, coming up, is there any way we could just have like a friends with benefits type relationship? Because I'm the type of guy that all the girls say, why can't he be you? I'm sure I have a better personality. I'm easier to talk to and more intelligent than Jamar Miller. And I'm also certain I'm better in bed because I've had sex with lots of women that are really attractive in here that have sex with lots of professional athletes, and they say I'm the best. So you want to try it out? I mean, we don't have to date because I don't have the money to afford you. But sex, we could have just a friends with benefits. I put on a prophylactic. I enjoy you, you enjoy me, since I'm supposed to be the best. Don't try to talk me into money because that will just ruin our sex life because I don't like money, but I like you. Okay, so I could have done that with Sachiko, but I didn't. Well, because I didn't want a sexual relationship. If I was having sex with Sachiko, I would have wanted it to last. You know me. Pisces, Virgo rising is a very good sign, strong and kind, and the little boy is mine, right? Summer thunder on moon bright days. I want a girl who's like, wait, you want to have kids with me? Yeah, I want to engage in the act of having children with me. We'll raise them together? Right. Well, because money's not real and the Lord's Prayer is perfect. Okay. And Sachiko, good, gravy, yeah. If you could teach her the Lord's Prayer and she could understand it. And in Jamar Miller, if you could teach him the Lord's Prayer and he could understand it. Yeah. Then Joe Kell would sit there and say, now we don't have to put up with those idiots and end up getting me pregnant and have me and raising my daughter in my dad's pool house. Hallelujah, Joe Kell. I love you too, Joe Kell Green. You never met a better friend and a more intelligent woman, trying to survive that hell in the 90s. Oh, yeah. Joe Kell was the coolest. Oh, yeah. She was so sweet, so smart, so intelligent, so, honest. Now, that was Joe Kell. Yeah, Joe Green's daughter. Oh, yeah. The pride and joy of Denton, Texas. Okay, guys, I love you, all right? Pride and joy. I like Marvin Gaye, too. We'll talk later. You'll show that ass. I'll kick the shit out of it. As far as all that stuff, we'll cross those bridges when we come to them. As far as what we're going to do, with the other stuff. Don't worry about it, because you don't have to worry about it. You're a liar, and I'm the way, the truth, and life, and I'm correcting quantum computing, and I'm taking care of it. So don't worry about things that are outside of your capacity to truthfully exist. There is no pay grade, asshole. Yeah, military. Just get to work on my rec call and the Gila and my Adobe house, or, put up or shut up. Okay, I love you. It should have been done 2020, but you're selfish, and selfish is useless. Okay, love you. Peace.